What is good, family? This is your girl. I am Courtney Michelle, and welcome to another live stream of mine. You guys, I feel like I haven't done this in forever, and quite frankly, I think it has been forever. It's been a minute since I've done a show that you guys are used to me doing, and I'm excited about this show. I'm excited about the topic that we are going to talk about. I'm excited about the guests. I'm just excited, excited, excited. However, before we start, I'm going to take a little time out to let you guys know what I've been up to a little bit. I have been focusing on creating my page to be different. And if you guys that have been following me, you see my community tab where I really am focusing on the reimage of the Black woman. Definitely starting with health. I started a Patreon for women and men that want to get healthy, want to do a journey along with me. To all kind of help each other out. So that's been kind of my, I'll say a quote unquote, my rebranding. I want to bring something different to the space. And one of the things that I want to do differently is to show positive Black women that are not only doing the work, but are actually caring about the community. And, my journey on YouTube has been wild to say the least, but I'm super, super excited um, about my new page. I'm going to say new page because I think I'm going to do something a lot different. I want to show a lot more creativity, um, bring more people to the space, more interviews. I just have so much that I want to do, a lot of ideas. And um, there also has been a little change as well too. So before I start with my amazing guest, I am going to play something. I created this video because I want you guys to know that there are a lot of changes that are going to happen with me personally. And this is one of the changes that is going to happen. So I'm going to play it so you guys are well aware of what's going on. And then we're going to get in it. So without further ado, this is for you guys. To be honest. And that's what I think a lot of women are missing is just being honest with yourself. But that it hurts. And sometimes even when I listen to you and it's you talking to me and it hurts, but it's true.
It's not hurting for hurt's sake, though.
Right? No, it hurts me because because I didn't know how I was because I was like so many women, and a lot of us are in a delusion.
It's knowing that growth means that you do have to take risk.
But there's not a lot of women of my age that are teaching 20-year-olds what not to do. However, they are knowing what not to do and not to listen to the big women saying, hey, Kevin Samuels, hey, O'Shea Duke Jackson, hey, MTR, like, these platforms that men are having that are now speaking freely is definitely important. And if you're desiring a Black man, if you're wanting to marry a Black man, then you need to know who they are. And it's just important that I say that.
So I want to thank everyone on the Lapeef Network that I had the pleasure of being on the panel with and talking to, meeting. You guys have changed my life.
Courtney. Mm-hmm. A woman like Courtney has benefit to a man just being around her. Her level of femininity reinforces your masculinity. And because you can tell being in the presence of a feminine woman, being in the presence of a masculine woman, she drains you because you're in competition, you're in combat mode. She rejuvenates you. So women have a muse ability that honestly, I don't think many men look at because we just want to have sex. So
Why are these women so mad? Why are women so mad? I think the biggest takeaway that I've learned on the platform was that I learned more about me, and it gave me the opportunity to be introspective of myself, and it allowed me to grow.
And I think what women get it wrong is that we're always following a man because of our feelings and we love him. I think we switch it around and follow and go with the man that we respect first, then that would change the game up completely.
But I haven't seen her.
Courtney and Kim. Hey, Courtney and Kim, hold on real quick.
Courtney, why do you think everyone... Courtney, why do you think people are so concerned with you? Are you okay?
I don't, Kay. But you were, and we've already talked about that the first time that you was on here.
And so even looking back at the different videos that I was on from when I first started and to where I am now, I know in my heart that I am a better person.
Growing up. And so I thought men was going to abandon me because that was supposed to be my first love and he was never there. So once I forgave him and decided to get him back in my life about 6 years ago, that man turned into to be my best friend.
And I was blessed for the opportunity to not only have thousands critique me, but for me to have the opportunity to even look at myself. It was like the man in the mirror moments that I had that allowed me to grow.
Women, we do that a lot, where we'll listen and a man will tell us something, we wanting to believe it, and so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think what Anton was kind of dragging in is that he knows that it's a lie, but however, he's willing to
just go along with it to
get something out of it. Where I was one of those, I'm a 10 because I feel like, and it's like, let's look and see what's going on in your life. And you're not. And it's okay. It's okay to understand and self-reflect and have self-knowledge of who you are. It's okay to be accountable, and it's okay to be honest. And that's what I think a lot of women are missing, is just being honest with yourself. But that it hurts. And sometimes even when I listen to you and it's you talking to me and it hurts, but it's true.
It's not hurting for hurt's sake, though.
Right? No, it hurts me because because I didn't know how I was, because I was like so many women, and a lot of us are in a delusion.
It's knowing that growth means that you do have to take risks.
But there's not a lot of women of my age that are teaching 20-year-olds what not to do. However, they are knowing what not to do and not to listen to the bitterness of the 30 and 40-year-olds.
I got it. Because before Corona, y'all was in the same club. Y'all was competition. See, Generation X.
Y'all know I'm old. So a heartbeat and a job. That's all I require.
For real. Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. Ask you really quick.
I have to get out of my own way, and I have to get out of my comfort zone and get out of my box. And that's hard to do.
How do you define Black culture? Like, what are you so beholden to that you don't want anyone speaking in that manner about it?
Okay. That's a great question. So I look at Black culture because I look at us as a unit, as family. And so where I can understand where my family has a lot of dysfunction, but I'm not going to air it out to the world of our dysfunction. I do it in home. Lawyers, Black, come from HBCUs. So HBCUs are actually amazing for Black people that go, because they are the ones that are pushing out doctors, lawyers.
But are y'all discounting what his experience?
Through my excitement, I have a tad bit anxiety, but I think that's normal when it's time for a change. So, it's on me to show how valuable I am to be in this relationship. So it's on me to show he's not going to know my value. He's going to look at me as another woman. And so if I'm looking for marriage,
that I'm going to show how valuable I am to him. And being able to discern, because that's what God gave you, then that's a problem with you. But I definitely can tell if I'm in a group of people and I'm listening to them talk, listening to them move, watching them move, and I'm like, something ain't right.
Yep.
Or I've been in situations where it wasn't.
I'll do this right. I agree with y'all.
Let me hold on.
Hold on.
I just want to know this. All right, go ahead. You got a pink shirt on. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tennessee State.
I have so much to give, and I want to do it in my little unique way. So I'm going to try.
Of your results.
All right.
So if your results is not getting you what you want, then it's you. I guess now I'm older, a little bit more aggressive. You better get on the bed. So the older I get, because I'm more comfortable in myself, I'm more comfortable in my body, I'm not shying away, turn all the lights on, you seeing all this. That man was very impactful in my life, and my very first show on the network was dedicated to him. So I'm grateful that I was able to give him his flowers. I'm speechless.
And if it fails, it fails. But if it doesn't, then what? So I'm praying for the then what, but I would never know unless I try. So,
and I can't debate a stat.
Come on, Courtney. I can't believe you doing this to me.
Thank you, Courtney.
I am.
I can't believe you trying to do this to me, Courtney.
You want me to debate a fact? That's what you
want
want me to?
But the context, the context makes that fact. It's just like the context.
All the time on this panel. When we talk about women, well, what about the man? Well, if you have a child or they have a sibling, what do they do? Chris, you done messed up. You painted on the wall. Well, Sarah did it too. That's what children do. And we can't always say that, well, we don't like when Ricky say this or child, when we exhibit the exact same childish behavior every day. On these panels, we act like children. We don't know when to shut up.
I am officially closing my Lapeef Network chapter, and I am starting fresh on my official new chapter of I Am Courtney Michelle.
Right. So it's actually the women that have to play into your ego.
And I want to thank everyone that has commented, good, bad, or indifferent. You also helped change and mold me into the woman that I am, and also the woman that I will continue to grow to be.
What's your name?
My name is Courtney.
Where you calling from?
I am calling from Nashville, Tennessee.
That's what's up.
Hi, Courtney. Well, yeah, I have a comment.
To the Lapeef Network, I love you guys. And to the I Am Courtney Michelle channel, the shows, the people I'll be working with, I'm ready to change the world. Yeah, I'm that crazy. Thank you guys.
So this is my official rebrand. This is officially I Am Courtney Michelle. Just me. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get the show started. Yesterday, I was on social media and looking at the Shade Room. And it was so funny because every time I watch the Shade Room or look at it, it's something interesting. I laugh. Usually I get sad by how we portray ourselves. But then yesterday I saw someone that looked familiar. And so I was like, wait a minute, I know this man. So there was a video apparently going viral, and he was speaking about how Black women are tired. And I watched it, and in my head, I said, I know he's going to get a whole lot of Black women that's going to love him, and he's going to get a whole lot of Black men that's going to call him a simp. And lo and behold, yesterday there was already a reaction video. Shout out to Mr. Let Go that did one yesterday. And when I hit him up, I said, get ready. You're about to get some videos on this. And he said he was ready. So I invite him up. We're going to play the viral video, but before I do, I'm going to go ahead and bring him up so he can introduce himself. We can show the video, discuss it, and we're going to take it from there. So without further ado, I sound like MCR. Without further ado, let's bring up the man of the hour. What is going on?
Yo, what up, Courtney? What's going on?
Joshua, how are you?
How are you, Courtney? I'm doing amazing. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I am so excited to have you here, first of all, because I've been wanting to work with you. Like, we've been Instagram buddies for a minute.
Yes, we have.
And I must say, this is my brother in Christ. One of the reasons why I have followed you. First, your IG page is amazing. But first, let you introduce yourself, because you have a lot going on. You're Mr. Popular now. So go ahead. Introduce yourself, sir.
No, so I'm Joshua Dillard, founder of Shrew Studios, entrepreneur, speaker, influencer, and just content creator. Of course, I love Jesus, and I love stirring up people's emotions.
Ooh, you did a stir.
Yo, I did. I was like, yo, when I record that video in my studio, I was like, oh, this is just a thought that I have, because I have conversations with Black women all the time, and there's this common theme, and I'm sure we'll get into that, but there's this common theme that I hear actually talking to Black women. But then when you go on YouTube, you see, and we'll get into that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's a little short snippet about me.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and play the video. It has, like I said, gone pretty much viral. You made the Shade Room, and I was like, wow. So we're going to talk about that. First, let me hit up some super chats before I do, because I see one of my brothers here, Mr. Logic. Thank you so much. Salute to Miss Courtney Michelle, my favorite ops. He's right. Continue to bridge the gap. Inside joke. Shout out to Gap Gang. And we will shut out. Oh, I appreciate you guys. 10K on the way. Salute, Court. Thank you, Killa. And yeah, keep up the good work. We support you. Stay the course. Miss your shows. Oh, my show is about to be. Y'all have no idea.
Let's go.
And I am so excited. And you're my first. First. Look.
Inaugural.
You did. Yes, my first reread, and it's you. And you're special enough to do it. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm glad we got a chance to connect and do this and just further the conversation.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and play the clip that made the Shade Room and made some people pissed off.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's rock.
Black women are tired. They're tired of being independent. They're tired of being looked at as the strongest. They're tired of having to take care of the kids by themselves. They're tired of bearing all the weight. Don't believe the hype that you see on all of these social media networks. Black women are tired, and the reason why I know this because I talk and have conversations with a lot of Black women. But what a Black woman really want, she want to be able to go to the soccer games. She want to not have to be the sole leader and sole provider of her family. She want to support the man who God gave her to be with. She want to be a helpmeet. The thing is, she's been placed in this position where she's had to lead. She's had to step up to the plate and become something that she really didn't want to be in the first place. She want to support her man. She want to nurture her kids. She want to nurture her husband while pursuing things that she's passionate about. That's it. It's that simple. The thing is, she just can't find a suitable leader that she trusts to come in and relieve her of these responsibilities so that she can finally get some rest. Because that's what she wants. Rest.
That's what she wants. She wants
That's
some
what she
rest.
wants. She wants some rest.
All right. So take me back when you recorded that. Why?
So I recorded that because I had a conversation with actually multiple black women over time, though it wasn't in one setting. It's like a month, 2 months, 6 months, yeah, because I had a podcast. Well, I have a podcast. We just working on season 3 of the show. And the first season of the show, we had 3 co-hosts, and 2 of those women were black women. And so I've been having conversations with them, with single women who are friends, comrades, and there's this common thing that I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of doing this by myself. I'm tired of having to carry all the weight. I'm tired of being the sole provider. I'm tired. Now, keep in mind, I hang around a certain caliber of black women. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So with that being the case, let me qualify what I'm saying, because some of the black women that these people are referring to in the comments, I don't even attract those type of black women to me, bro. They're not even in my vicinity, bro. They're not even in my area, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I was having this conversation. I was like, yo, I keep hearing this. Why not put out a video about it? You know what I'm saying? And so I put out a video about it, and lo and behold, that joint took off. And then Shade Room posted it, and they hit me up like, this is our strongest video for this month.
Wow.
Motivation Monday. Like, this video is just going crazy. And I'm like, yo, that's so dope. I appreciate you guys for sharing it. But yeah, this is a conversation that needs to be further, because I understand both sides. And so yeah, I'll stop there.
Okay. So were you were surprised when you saw it on the Shade Room?
I was surprised when I saw it on the Shade Room, because I'm like, yo, this is Shade Room, 27 million plus people. I gathered that probably most of their audience, the majority, is probably female black women. You know what I'm saying? And so it just seemed like it fit with their audience too. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, yo, that's crazy. That's dope. And then I went back to look at it. I was like, oh no, that's like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question, because again, when I saw it, I already knew that you were going to be all kind of, shout out Chicago, really beta simp host studs. So pretty much you're simping and you're pandering from the men. And then I knew the women were going to be like, that's my husband. And what's his IG? And also, I already knew that you was going to get that. And when I went to the comments, exactly what I thought. So did you think that, or were you surprised as far as the comments, the amount of comments, and maybe even the divisiveness of the comments for men and women?
Man, I wasn't surprised, because here's the thing, Courtney. That's how I found out about you, because I used to follow the manosphere. Keep in mind, I'm a content creator, so I create content from all sides. Manosphere, like, I want to create the conversation, and so I found out about you because the Lapeef show came up in my YouTube feed one day. And then I started following you, and that's how I connected with you on social media. I was like, oh, she cool, she dope. And the Lapeef show was super entertaining. So I was watching that for a little bit. And so I'm kind of familiar with the whole manosphere and the thoughts and philosophies of the people that align with that belief system. And so it didn't just completely shock me. Honestly, I was like, yo, y'all, this is sad, bro. That's what I thought. I like, yo, this is pretty sad. Because though what I'm saying isn't divisive or a shot against black men, for some reason, black men felt like it was a shot against them by highlighting the plight of black women, which is weird to me.
I'm going to dive into that, but let's go back, because you said you used to follow the manosphere. That's past tense.
Yeah. I don't anymore, because most of them are single, if not 90%. When I say single, I'm talking about not married. Like, most of them are single from what I know and the people that I used to follow, because it's very polarizing content. And to me, they're talking to a lot of men. They're talking to a lot of men who have been either hurt, who have had bad experiences with women, who are young and are not self-aware, and don't really quite know themselves, or really identify with who they are. You know what I'm saying? And so don't get me wrong, that's a broad statement, but it just seems like I'm just going off the data, and I'm a data guy. I'm just going off the comment section. And I'm like, well, if you've been in a relationship with a woman, then you kind of understand the nuances. It's going to challenge you as well as it's going to challenge them. But I don't follow it anymore because I don't know, it became redundant. It became redundant. And at the end of the day, I'm a guy who want to be married. So why am I listening to y'all? Most of y'all niggas not married. Can I say that on here?
Yes,
I don't know if I can say that on YouTube.
I mean, you can say you good. You free here, brother. You's free.
Okay, it kind of came out anyway. But like, I'm self-assured, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what do I want out of my life, and what type of content am I going to be putting into my heart? Because I want to be married. I desire to be married. And I know there are a lot of good women out here because I'm around good women. You know what I'm saying? And so if you keep consuming this type of content, you start to take on this philosophy. And you got to think to yourself as a man, does this really align with my core values and my principles? And honestly, it didn't align with mine. So I was like, nah, I'm kind of through with the whole manosphere thing.
Yeah. Well, I can understand. I think a lot of times we get into echo chambers. And so if we think a thing, then we usually are listening to people that think that way also and feel this way also. And so a lot of times we can also get so consumed. So, you know, again, for this particular platform, I kind of want to break away from that. I want to bring different types of people, different types of ideologies to the space to get different perspectives. And quite frankly, that's just kind of how you grow. So I understand where you're coming from for that.
Yeah. Is that why you're breaking out? Why are you breaking out of the manosphere?
well, you know, I don't really think women are necessarily in the manosphere. It's a man space. I tiptoe, skate around, you know, running man around it, you know, breakdancing. But I just have so many ideas, and I think that there's a lot of people coming in the space that are new faces. But I think we just need to get kind of some fresh perspectives. And I really want to hear more healed people. I want to see more positive images. So I don't know if that, I mean, I'm not manosphere, but I kind of want to bring something where, you know, the men that do want to be married to Black women, that they see some good Black women. You know, they see some beautiful Black women that, you know, want a man to lead. And I really, really want to focus on that because, you know, I know men, there's a lot of married men in this space, but there is a lot of men that do want women, Black women. And they just ain't seeing them. Now, whether they're in an echo chamber, it's not in their neighborhood, I don't know. So I want to start showing them. So that's my goal. We about to show some bad ones, baby. They're gonna be fine, smart.
Bring the baddies. Bring the baddies. I feel like, you know, if men are having a hard time, single men are having a hard time attracting a viable woman, like a good woman, then I think deep down it's probably a reflection of their belief systems. You know what I'm saying? Because your belief system, your actions are a product of your belief systems. You know what I'm saying? So the way you move, the way you talk, you know, how you dress, like how you view yourself, how you identify, that's all a reflection of your belief systems. So if you're attracting a certain type of a woman, I feel like you got to look in the mirror and be like, hey, what do I really believe? And sometimes belief systems are so rooted deep down within us because it comes from our experience. It comes from how we were raised. It comes from a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Which is why like therapy is important. But if you're attracting a certain type of person, then I would question, like, what are your belief systems?
Yeah. So I often say that you kind of attract what you are. But you know, well, let me ask you this before we go back to the your viral video. Do you think that there is a core issue going on with Black women?
Do I think that there's a core issue,
a core problem that Black women are having?
Fatherlessness. I think So okay, so I'm gonna speak from my experience, right? Most of the women that I know didn't have their fathers in their lives. And you can tell by how they engage and talk with and deal with black men. They didn't have that model of leadership. So if I saw my mom, that I'm just using this for, but if I saw my mom getting checked, you know what I'm saying? But I also saw them reconcile, and I also saw how they recovered, and I also saw her respect him while sharing her voice, then that's ingrained in my belief system. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the way that black women are have carried themselves. Now, I don't want to categorize the whole group of black women, but from what I see, good black women as well as black women who may be a little bit on the wild side. It's a lack of fatherlessness. You know, that's the common anchor that I see. That's the common thread that I see where that's lacking.
Okay, so one would say if that's the case, one of the issues is we're not having fathers to, give us our identity, which I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're surrounding yourself with these good black women,
mm-hmm.
then why are you not married along with the other men that are complaining?
Well, it's just because I don't want to be married right now.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I can be married, you know what I'm saying? But I think for me, like how I experienced life in marriage, because I got married young. You know, I got married like at 20 something. Like
So
boys were so
you were
ready to get
married
married.
before.
Yeah. Boys are so
Okay.
ready to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those type of guys. And so I got married young, experienced some things. And now at this point, I'm trying to do self-discovery, discover myself, as well as because I also grew up in the church too. And that heavily influenced my belief system. And so as I'm discovering myself, now I'm aligning God with what I believe about myself. And so I'm taking my time. But as far as being married, it's not because there aren't options available. Like there are options available. Courtney is an option. She's not my option, but Courtney is an option. Like I think Courtney is a viable option.
Girl, you had to throw that out there. Ain't your option?
Well, that sounded bad, didn't it? But
yeah,
I'm saying because
Mister.
No, what I mean is that we haven't talked and built and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I've gotten to know you beyond the scope of social media. You know, but as far as everything else, come on now, you fine, girl.
No, hush, I don't want to hear all that. We gonna
You don't
take
want to
it
hear?
back. You done hurt me to the core.
Oh Lord.
Hey, that's all right. I'm used to y'all rude. You sure you're not mad at me? Y'all be mean.
Might be. Who knows?
So let's take it back to your video, and we talked about kind of the separation of the men and the women that were commenting. So a lot of the women that I saw were super excited, and they were saying, "Finally, someone hears me."
Right.
However, I would maybe push back to say that Black women have always had platforms to go to be heard. So how is it that?
Oh Lord, she paused. Hey, you cut out.
You here?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay,
You cut out.
I'm sorry. Let me repeat that question. How is it that Black women are saying that they are finally being heard? However, they've always had a platform to be heard.
Yeah. I don't think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were still talking.
So how is that? It sounds like for me a little bit of a contradiction.
Okay, so here's what I interpret women who are coming and say, "Hey, finally I'm heard." I think for them, it's not necessarily that they don't have a platform to speak. It's that they're hearing it from a Black man. Because honestly, the manosphere space is being amplified right now because it's so polarizing. You know, and so you don't hear a lot of Black men saying what I'm saying. That's not like what's the name? The Jackson guy?
Derek
What's his?
Jackson, right?
Yeah,
Which
like the Derek Jackson guy. Which I mean, honestly, his audience is nothing but women, and like he caters to women in his audience. That's his audience, you know. But I'm not placating to women. I literally been having conversations with women, and I think for them to see a black man to say and articulate that, it gives them a voice where it's like, yo, somebody, not somebody, but a black man hears me. There's a black man out here that understands what I wrestle with as a black woman. Because honestly, with this landscape today, it doesn't seem like it exists. At least you don't see it on the platforms that much. You don't really see it. You see the polarizing stuff.
right. So if you were to make a video that said black women, your issue is you didn't have any father, so you don't understand leadership of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would get the same response for women?
From women, um, I think some yes, but it requires a certain level of self-awareness. But I think the majority of it, no.
Mm,
No, I think the majority of them will respond like immediately out of how that makes them feel.
right.
And that comes from their experience, their life experience, because that may be a lot of truth to that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah. So the reason why I'm asking, because I know they wouldn't. Ain't no way in
Yeah.
the world that you would be like, you changed my life. There was one comment I saw. The woman was like, I had to pull over and cry. I said, not pull over and cry. But those were one of the comments.
Yeah.
So for me, it's, I understand being tired. I'm tired right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's ever really been a balance with Black women where we can celebrate, but we can also hold accountable. We can also critique.
Mm-hmm.
And so we uplift the videos that celebrate us. But then if it's something of critique, then we shame you. And
Yeah.
that's always kind of been my issue. So I know you would call it Derek Jackson, which you completely are not. You had one video, but people are not familiar with your content or IG.
Right.
So, I understand that. But it's been a balance that I'm not seeing that me being a Black woman, that we've never had.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Like accountability is something, the lack of accountability in the black woman circle is mind blowing. It is absolutely mind blowing. I just don't understand it. Like some of my friends that I hang around, they tell me their stories. I'll be like, so what did you tell her? So how did you respond to that? Because that's an issue. I think self accountability and self awareness is how we grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I see that in, instead of holding each other accountable I feel like black women got a code that they live by. Like you cannot say nothing bad about black women.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I deal with that being in here. It's just none. So let me ask you, who do you
Uh-huh.
think can hold Black women accountable?
I think I think the people who probably would get the most results if they held black women accountable is other black women.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about it, accountability comes with trust. You gotta trust the person for them to hold you accountable. Random nigga ain't gonna walk up to me on the street, and, hold me accountable. I'm just like, dog, get out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I need some level of trust with you.
mm-hmm.
Especially when you talk about stuff that's deep rooted. So I think the most effective accountability is from other women in their friend groups, and that's
Yeah.
that's really not happening. Courtney, Courtney,
Yes, sir.
y'all not holding each other. Do you hold
Well,
your friend groups accountable?
I specifically have a friend group to hold me
Okay,
accountable. So when I
nice.
do something or get out of pocket, they check me and I check them. But I
Uh-huh.
specifically have created friendships like that.
Yeah,
Now, but is that typical? No.
yeah,
And it's because I think when you try to hold a friend accountable or someone in your life and you tell them something, then you really are kind of blurring the line of losing them. So I even think sometimes with Black women, it's if you hold a woman accountable, they're going to be upset. They're going to get in their feelings. So you're going to lose a friendship.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of Black women struggle with that. But then again, is that really a friend? Do you really want to be? And why would you want to be around a yes person?
Yep. Because accountability takes rapport, and in order for us to really grow, we can't grow a solid friendship without conflict. If everything is good in our friendship and we never experience any type of conflict, that means we can't overcome conflict. You know what I'm saying? So if we have a disagreement and I'm telling you like, hey, she like, oh yeah, she don't do nothing but complain. This nigga this and this nigga that, and he ain't this and he ain't that. And as a friend, you know her, dude, and you like, yo, he not really all of that though. Like, you tripping. I think the way you responding to this, seek help or just challenge them in some type of way. And I think, since, to speak to your point, since it's such a sensitive topic and you don't want to lose friends and things of that nature, I guess that's why it's not being addressed. I can't really speak to it personally because I don't hang around a lot of woman friend groups. You know what I'm saying? But I can only imagine.
Yeah. So yesterday there was a reaction video to your video.
Oh, snap, somebody reacted to it.
Mr. Let Go. I'm familiar with him, and he was highly disagreed with what he said. He's Black women tired. Where have you been? And pretty much the gist of it was, Black women are tired, but it's due to their own accord. So what I would like to do is let's play some snippets of the reaction and let's get your take on it. How about that?
How about that? Let's do it.
How about it? Let's get into it. So let's see what we got. Mr. Let Go.
So many Black women are so tired. It's because you literally started backwards. Okay. You start the family and then you want a man. All right. Like, that don't make no damn sense.
That's not how it starts, Aaron. Now, some people have had the family. I'm quite sure that
I get
it. Idealistically, it started off as, we're in a relationship. I like this person. They like me. This is what we think is going to grow through. And then reality hits and it doesn't work.
So,
it didn't work.
With that being said, how many times does a woman have to go through the same thing until she realizes, like, okay, there's a good probability that the next relationship may not work out?
Well, here's the difference.
Okay.
All right. So what is your response to that? So what do you have to say about the reason why Black women are tired?
So I partly agree with that from a holistic level. Like, okay, so I'm a Christian. I identify as a Christian, right? And so, of course, for us, it's marriage first, kids later.
Right.
And just when you look at it from an economic standpoint, economically, it's better for Black families to get married first and then have kids later. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. I agree with that partly, but each circumstance and situation is different. Like, most of the Black women who I know who have kids now had them early. Okay, so that's one. They had them early, which is immaturity, right? A lack of wisdom. Okay, what comes from a lack of wisdom? A lack of leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had a dad in their life, again, I'm only speaking from my experience.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If they had tutelage in their life, if they had leadership in their life who could help them navigate making bad decisions at a younger age, who they trusted, then that's something to take into consideration. But how many of us have made bad decisions in our youth? That's not a Black woman thing. She's just the one who ends up getting stuck with the kid. You know what I'm saying? That's not a Black woman thing. That's an immaturity thing from my standpoint. Now, for the ones who are a little bit older, he's saying, hey, look, how many times are you gonna have Ray kid? You know what I'm saying? Before you start changing. There's some truth to that.
Right.
That's self-accountability, right? And then we got to deal with behavior. Now, we think that it's easy to change behavior, but it's really not. The only way you can change behavior is God, in my opinion, and therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to dig deep. Like, why do you even attract those type of men to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you doing self-discovery and growing? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Cool. So that would be like telling someone who's on crack, like, why you keep going to the crack pipe? Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of seeking a high. This is something that I want. This is something that I'm used to. If it was just as easy to stop, they would just stop. But to change your behavior, it's much more complicated than I think people really realize. You do stuff just naturally, subconsciously, that you don't even know you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when you get with somebody that pushes back against that, defense mechanisms, they start coming up. Walls start coming up. So I feel like, yes, you would think in an ideal world, hey, you been in a bad situation. You keep getting with Ray now, and you ain't changing. You know what I'm saying? And my question to that woman is, what males do you have? What men do you have in your life as leaders? That's one. You know, next thing, what friends do you have in your life that's gonna challenge you? That's two. Oh, shoot. Oh, it's getting hot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then, are you doing self-development, personal development, and discovery so that you can equip yourself to not make those bad decisions again? It's one thing to say, hey, just stop. It's another thing to just stop.
Yeah. Let me, and it's saying your mic has an echo, so you might just mute amongst us when we're talking, if that's okay.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm going to push back a little bit on that, because I think the issue becomes where we are saying having a child is a mistake, which it seems to minimize the impact of having a child. So a lot of times when you hear women that have a child young and not married, and then a single mom, it's always, I was a mistake. I was young. I was dumb. And that never gets pushed back. It never gets, as far as with our community, taught. No, that's not only a mistake on your part, but what you're doing, you're crippling the child already by not having a dad in the home, by not being married, by now, fighting poverty because you're going to have to raise a child by yourself. So it's bigger, I think, than a mistake. And I think a lot of women use that scapegoat. And again, we don't hold those women accountable. No, we can't keep doing this mistake. Like, it's bigger than that. And it's a lifelong, crippling, damaging effect to a child. Already they're coming, growing up under par because they don't have a dad in the home. So
yeah, no, for real. That's a huge problem. That's a huge problem. Here's the thing, like, I don't give that person an scapegoat, so to say. What I give them is grace to grow. Now, if you're not growing, then that's an issue, because mistakes, you should learn from your mistakes. And my thing is, that's the reason I was talking about who's the leadership in your life. That's the reason I was talking about who's tutoring you. What wise women that have been married do you even have around you? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of those things that can help you not make those mistakes. So if as a woman, you're not being proactive, and you're now in your late 20s, you're now in your 30s, and you still twerking at the club, having more kids. And I don't want my woman twerking at the club, but I'm saying, like, if you still, I want my woman twerking at the house. You know what I'm saying? With me. That look. I love my dude Russell. He my man, but I don't need you showing all of that. But anyways, like, if you're not growing, then you can't continue to label your decisions as a mistake. If you're not making the proactive choice to do something different. Just makes mistake number one was JoJo. Mistake number two was Eddie. Mistake number.
You know what though? I'm kind of thinking about it, where we celebrate baby showers more than marriages.
Jesus Christ.
Is it really a mistake? do women really think that having a child out of wedlock, and I can speak for myself, for me, I knew it was a mistake. I was scared to tell my mom, and I was 32. Okay. And I was scared, but again, I'm growing up in the church. So, and my mom went off on me. What the hell? Girl, what the? You better, you lying? So I was shamed. But, that's because of my background. But again, it's celebrated. So, how can it be a mistake and then celebrate it? So, I don't really think that we look at it as a collective, as a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now that I'm seeing Shade Room, shout out, where they have these women on there saying, man, I don't want to
Jesus
be,
Christ.
I don't care about being married, but I wouldn't mind a child. So it's not.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. Like in today's current climate,
Yeah.
it's celebrated for you to have
It's
kids
celebrated.
and be a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people really think about that these people that they're putting on the Shade Room or other platforms that have kids and are single moms, they're financially, that most of them are financially in a good place, or at least it looks to be the case. I mean, looks can be deceiving. But there are a lot of planned pregnancies where people are unfortunately opting for children outside of wedlock rather than marriage. But if you look at it from the grand scheme of things, most of the people don't have the financial viability that these people have that are being posted on these networks. You know what I'm saying? And so you in your life after them, but you live in paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have a career. You just got started. And you celebrated. So I will say this, like, I agree with you because most kids are not a mistake. Like if we talk about in the literal sense of a mistake, you made a choice to have sex. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then after that, now you have a choice on whether or not you have the kid. You know what I'm saying?
So let's just take mistake out of it. No, you did the do, you had the baby, and you're a poor decision maker. And not understanding the poor decision and thinking it's okay, you're completely still a poor decision maker. So for any man that is willing to date a woman with a child, I would ask that question, because that shows again where her head is at, and I'm giving the men free game. If any man decides, I know y'all don't want to do the stepdaddy, I understand, but if you do, I would ask, hey, you weren't married. Do you see a problem with that? If they say no, that would be a red flag. So let me get to a couple of the super chats. I'm late with this, but I want to shout out my boy Drummer Boy. I love his content. He is super dope. So I appreciate the 10 spot. And Maleficent Elephant, my God, won't he do it? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go back to another clip from Mr. Let Go, because he has some words for you.
Start off with nothing, and then we try to build something together. Now it's on both ends, it's being pushed in the Black community. Get your education, get yourself together, then find something then get a job, then find someone to build something with. But it's also been told, party, 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 play, 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 have a great time.
Been told by who?
I'm talking about.
It's been told to y'all by other dysfunctional, single, manless women.
Single, dysfunctional, manless women. I would play that because she made an interesting point.
Okay.
I'm a traditionalist, so I definitely believe that a lot of our issues that we have in our community could be fixed if we go back to more traditional conservative values. That's, putting family first, God first, nuclear family, mom, dad in the home. But back then, when we talk about being traditional, the idea of getting it first and, focus on career first, man and woman was never really the talk. Back then, it was men that was building with their women. Back then, men were getting married younger, women even younger. So these men didn't have big businesses or great jobs. They were building with their women. But now it is taught that men be on purpose, get your money right, and then you get your wife, which is different from before. So, do you think that that model that we're doing now, and this is just particularly for the men, is what men need to be focused on is getting the bag first and then the woman will come? Or maybe, men, you need to get your wife so you guys can build together? Which model do you think would work best for our community?
If you get a suitable wife, it'll take you where you want to go faster, right? If you get an unsuitable wife, it will destroy you. You know what I'm saying? So I think men have to take that into consideration. A lot of times, especially as a Christian, right? Like a woman is your helpmeet. She helps you meet whatever that is, whatever those goals is. She helps you meet that. So if you have a suitable woman, she can help you meet those goals faster. Now, as far as a man, I wouldn't champion getting to the bag first, but I like to change the lingo. Like a man needs to know how to steward responsibility before getting into a serious relationship with a woman. Because for a man,
explain that using some big words.
Okay, so a man needs to know how to manage his responsibilities before he gets into a relationship with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a man who manages his responsibilities, it builds confidence as a leader. Now, you don't want a man that can't lead you. But if a man can't manage his finances, that means he hasn't made the best choices. You know what I'm saying? If he's had a bunch of kids out of wedlock, he hasn't made the best choices. So what that means is like a man should get to the bag. And what I mean by that is a man should be managing his responsibilities well, adequately before getting into a serious relationship with a woman, because it's going to build qualities in that man of leadership that she wants. You want me to have vision, right? Right? You want me to have ambition, right? You know what I'm saying? Of course, you want me to lead you somewhere. A lot of times when you get married young, especially if you don't have leadership, if you don't have anyone, no mentors in your life as a man showing you how to do this, then it's a lot of figuring it out, you know. And you figure it out with your wife. If you guys stay together 10, 12, sometimes it takes time to build a business that's viable along with building a great marriage, you know. So I would say in wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Like assess your goals. What are your goals? If you have a suitable woman, a suitable wife, a suitable helpmeet, she can help you get there faster. If you get with someone who isn't suitable, she can destroy you and she can cost you years. But before you even get there, learn how to manage your responsibilities first, because that's one of the quality traits of a good leader.
I'm gonna put some questions up here in the chat, and
okay.
This is actually a good one because what you said made me think of something. So a man needs to stay on his purpose. I think a lot of men say stay on the purpose, meaning career, financial, things like that. You know, your purpose is what you were meant, being the provider and leader. Could your purpose, or does a man purpose involve finding a wife?
Mine does. Mine does. For each man, that's different. And so I think a lot of men, when they say stay on purpose, here's what I interpret that this man is saying. Like, hey, you need to manage your responsibilities. You need to have some level of success. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a qualities, a characteristic traits that you need to now lead a family. But each person, their purpose may be different. Like my purpose is to leave a legacy for my son, a financial legacy for my son. So when I think about that in the grand scheme of things, and I add a wife to that equation, right? I'm like, yo, that's going to help me fulfill my purpose. You know, so for that individual as a man, I'm asking him, okay, what's your purpose then? What's your purpose? If your purpose is to just build a career and that's it, and your purpose isn't anything outside of that, it's just build a career, get to the bag, then brother, I'm gonna challenge you to reevaluate your purpose. You know what I'm saying? But if your purpose is like to build a family and hold on, to build a legacy, then you need a family. You need a family for legacy.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talk about legacy, and I think that's a man's core purpose. It's being who you going to provide for.
Right.
Yourself? No, it's you're a provider for a family, is to leave legacy.
Yeah.
And then the legacy. See, I'm about family, so that's what I'm telling you.
Me too. Me too.
The people be, no, it's incorporating family, and it's incorporating family as your purpose, and how we can fix. And part of us wanting the nuclear family is looking at family as purposeful. Like, I am intentionally wanting to have a family because that is my purpose. As a woman, I am created to be a helpmate. So my purpose is, again, family. So
Yeah.
again, these are all things that I think is core to try to bring our families back together. What do you think?
I'm with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know this is gonna probably upset a lot of women, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay, I'm listening.
I feel like it may, but maybe it won't. One of the essential things that you bring to a man is your womb. It's your ability to carry and bring forth life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if like, because I feel like in this cultural climate, you know, people are a little bit more loose and more free, and this is my body, I do what I will.
Mm-hmm.
But please understand, like, your value to a man, a lot of that is within your womb, along with other characteristics, like characteristic and qualities and traits. But don't be deceived into thinking it's your flower. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go deeper than that, you can get that anywhere. But your womb, your ability to bear kids, and the type of woman that a man would want to be with to carry his kids and mother his kids, that is a huge priority to a man.
Yeah. Let me get this question here because this was actually a good one. What is going on? Let's see. Brio Hammer TV, that is my guy. I appreciate you. The past 60 years has been the breakdown of the Black family unit. Do you think it would take a similar time period to reconnect the Black family unit again? I would say no. I do not think it will take another 60 years. I think within the past 60 years, a lot of things have came up that we didn't know. There's a lot of stuff that we were ignorant to. We were ignorant as why they were creating the Black man in the image as far as in media, what the purpose was. We were ignorant to a lot of fact of what the feminist movement did to us. We were ignorant to the fact with a lot of like COINTELPRO and different organizations who try to break up the Black family. We played into it, but a lot of it was ignorance. So now that we know, would it take another 60 years? I'm always going to be the optimist. So I don't think it's going to take another 60 years to get the family unit together. Is it going to take a period of time? Yes. But I think that we can do it within the next generation if we're serious. There's no reason why in the next 20 years, Black families couldn't skyrocket in marriage from 33% to 50%. Because it took 30 to 40 years for it to decline that much. So I'm always going to be the optimist. But what is your take on that?
Well, I would say it depends. I love that you're a hopeful optimist.
I
That's amazing. But I think it depends because there are so many contributing factors. Because I think one of the best things about this generation is that we have access to information. Then I also think that's a double-edged sword because we have access to so much information. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, like, I think it's going to take a collective of people who influence the Black community, athletes, you know, celebrities, media. I think once those things collectively start working together to rebrand the Black family image, then it's going to happen. So the question is, like, how long would that take? You have people like you and I, right?
Mhm.
Who, God has given us platforms to share our
Mhm.
voice, and that's great. But we also need these major platforms who say, hey, look, if you're having kids out of wedlock, I'm not really gonna put you on my platform like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to promote a certain family dynamic, and we know that we influence the 20s, the 18-year-olds, the 30s. So I think it could take long depending on how we organize.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's gonna take a while. I'm not. I mean, it does. It doesn't have to. If we take a concerted, kind of push forward. So
Yeah.
again, like you said, with those with a platform, allowing people, and again, that's what I stated at the beginning. I want to start showing positive images of people doing the work. So it's people need to see it.
Yeah, that's dope.
People need to see it.
They do. They do need to
It's
see it.
encouraging. I think about the TV shows that we had back in the day where it was the Cosby Show, and then A Different World. The reason why I went to an HBCU was because of A Different World. So if that changed my thinking and thinking, man, I want to go to college, I want to go to an HBCU, then how many other people went to college because of that? And again, that was the boom of colleges. That was the boom of HBCUs. Was the time of A Different World. So we understand that media. I think we're not doing our justice really as a community to show more positive images and only negative. So
I agree with that. And to add to that, there's a concerted effort from the media, in my opinion, to destroy the Black family. Because when you had a Black family, when you improve the Black family, you improve the Black community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I believe that there's a concerted effort to destroy the Black family. And what I mean is, I feel like media. I mean, when you put on any show, put on any Black show, what are you going to see in the Black show? You're going to see a feminized Black man, and you're going to see masculine Black women. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, already it's programming. It's programming. Now, me and you, we can't be programmed because we like, yo, we experience.
We sold out for the Lord.
Look, we can't be. Look, y'all gonna have a hard time trying to program us to accept some of this stuff. But it started with slavery, man out of the home. Then you got mass incarceration, and then you had drugs in the community. And now what are we seeing today? Like, how are they trying to destabilize the Black family today? It's through media. It's through media, and it's through the feminization of men. Because you want to know a fun little stat?
Okay.
There are 47 million Black people in America. 47 million.
Mm-hmm.
Of that 47 million, you want to know how many? How much of a? Let me ask you this: how much of a percentage do you think of that 47 million of those Black people identify as gay or homosexual?
2%.
Oh, see, you've been doing your homework. Okay.
I'm a sack queen. Y'all you better know about me.
I love it. Now, if I go ask a person who's not you and haven't been doing their homework, they're gonna say
they would probably think 30, 40%.
40%.
Yeah.
Now, according to UCLA, who did a research on how many Black people identify as gay, is 1.2 million. Black people identify as gay. You want to know how much of a percentage that is of 47 million? That's actually 0.02%. It's not even 1%. But yet, in these Black shows, you always
see the P-Valleys, that's all you see.
Yeah. And it's programming. It's the way that they can destabilize the Black family. You know what I'm saying? Just my opinion, but that was a little fun fact.
Yeah, I should have warned you. I be reading over here, okay? I'm a nerd.
Man,
I'm a numbers girl too. So
yeah.
So I love numbers. I've always said this about Black people and why I love us. for so many reasons. But one is that because there is a concerted, um, I could say plot, but that's what it is. It's a concern. It's they want us separated, and so for me, I'm always thinking of the whys. I always want to know the whys. Why is it that out of all the different cultures in the world, that they have had us program, media, laws, everything to separate us? It's something special about us that they don't want us to be together. I think there's
Absolutely.
power in this melanin. I think our strength, our resilience, the way
For
that we can
sure.
bounce back off anything is something special about us. I can go, yeah, I'm going to the organ harvesting and they try to take our organs. But
Right.
regardless of all that and my conspiracy theories, there's something special about us. And because I know that, I think that's why I'm so passionate with the family, because I know if they're working so much and putting millions on separating us, then how great would we be if we finally get together? And
Yeah.
that's what I want to see is our greatness and us holding our rightful throne as some great, powerful, melanated people.
Man, I'm with you, Courtney. I love being black.
I do too. And it's
I
hard.
do.
It's a hard man. It's rough out here being a Negro, but I wouldn't want it any other way. And I
Yeah.
mean, I do love us. So let me get to this. I got a super chat and let me read this. And it is I think it's more accurate to say that the value a woman brings to a relationship is strengthening and cultivating them. Part of that means fostering a small tribe that loves each other, kids, and being a dutiful wife is part of that.
Yeah, that's solid.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Absolutely. So let's see what Mr. Let Go got to say again.
See if they're tired of bearing all the weight. Don't believe the hype that you see on all of these social media networks.
So they wouldn't have any weight if they wouldn't have had any babies. See, when you just look at a household, if you by yourself, it could be hard. You know, things change or whatever, the economy or whatever, but things ain't that hard when you by yourself. But when you start spitting out fatherless babies, now that's a different story. Life is hard, but who spat out the babies? The woman. So when things are so hard, you're tired of being independent, who spat out the babies? The woman. So you can't get mad at your life being hard when you made your life hard.
But first of all, it's two people in this situation because we know babies aren't just hatched.
The way that he came
Yeah,
out,
he's so funny. He's such a polarizing guy.
He said
they spat out the babies.
So what do you have to say about that? All this weight, again, what other people were saying, is pretty much self-induced. You got all this weight because you want to pop out all the babies, and now you have to take care of all the babies by yourself. It's your fault.
The reality is there is an extra level of responsibility that comes with bearing children and caring for children. That's just a fact versus a single person taking care of themselves. But see, we talking surfacey stuff. I mean, it's real good for the camera though. It sound real good. Like you spat out the babies. Like that sound real good. But you got to ask, why did she make that decision and what environment was she raised in that influenced that decision making? Mm-hmm. Like if we just gonna say you spat out the babies and that's your fault. I know a whole lot of people who could be like, well, yeah, that technically wasn't my fault. Well, this happened to me when I was there. That they can give so much pushback to that. So I think he's oversimplifying a more difficult concept. You know what I'm saying? And that's decision making. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to make the right decisions, you have to be cultivated in the right environment to make the right decisions. Like if all I know is my cousins and my cousins and my cousin, my kinfolk and my mama and all of them, they all got pregnant young, it's more likely that I will get pregnant young. There's a higher chance that that's going to happen. So I get what he's saying. Like practically, yeah, if you have a baby, it's more responsibility. But he's not talking about the why. You
The
know what I'm
whys.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. The whys are important. And, I've always told, these are generational curses as well.
Right.
And it's, mom and them did it. I'm bound to do it because grandmama and them did it. So it's a generational thing too. But, I'm all about breaking them generational.
Come on.
Come on, break them.
Break them.
So, let me get to some of the comments that was under your video.
Okay.
Let's chit chat about some of them. Some of them
Let's
is
do it.
decent, so let's see what
I
they
love
got to
these.
say. Let me go to the first one. All right. As a Black woman, I disagree. It's something that's taught. You could have the perfect person and still choose to leave because it's what you're used to. I don't think it's the man's fault that we act how we act. More so a generational thing. Yeah, it's exactly what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Generational.
Yeah, I mean, it is taught in the Black community, which comes from fatherless homes, which like, because think about it, if you have, I mean, it's a fact that most of the families in the Black community are being led by a single Black woman. That's just a fact. The majority, right? And so this single Black mom who doesn't have someone that she trusts in her life who can lead her is now imparting her belief systems into this single Black daughter.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So you do start to develop this mentality to lead your own life, not only because you're being taught that consciously, like, hey, go get a degree. Don't depend on a man. You know what I'm saying? Don't have no man who gonna have you out here ass out. You know, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, always had something tucked away. Always
Yeah.
had something tucked away for a rainy day. You know, so if that's what you're being taught, then you're being bred to be a leader. So it's gonna be hard to even accept a man who comes into your life who is a viable leader and then actually follow him, because that is now your belief system. That's your behavior.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that we do men a disservice by just calling them or labeling them just as a provider? And I repeat it. Do we do men, in particular, we're talking about Black men, a disservice by just labeling them as just a provider?
I think so. I think so. And the reason why is because it don't really leave you room to be anything else.
Mhm.
So you're asking from emotions from a man who you really just want to work and provide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you only label him a provider, if that's all he is to you, then don't be shocked when he works all the time. You know what I'm saying? To provide. Don't be shocked when he can't give you emotional support, because that's the only thing that you know him as and you see him as and you view him as, is a provider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Someone said nope, and I'm hearing some yeses. So that's interesting. Let's get back to a couple of those comments. And again, people are saying echo, so I'm going to mute in between. Let's see. Shout out to the Jackson type of guy. LOL. Black men go through it too. Black men need our rest too. Dealing with baby mamas, never being satisfied, always providing day in and out, always deal with the world and what they see us as. Bruh, I can go on all day. Salute us, Black men, not taking anything from Black women, but let's not act like us, Black men, go through the most as well.
Well, look, I agree with you, but that ain't what we talking about right now.
Which I can get, because this is what I said to women. It's whenever I am talking to, a woman, look, girl, get it together. You acting a fool. But the Black man be acting a fool. Ma'am, I am talking about you. Why do we do that to each other? Why do we play the blame or the tit for tat, the tug of war? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's almost like we treat each other like enemies. I'm not
sure. A lot of us see each other as enemies, and I
That's
think
true.
We don't look at each other in a loving way. I think Black women and Black men we resent each other.
Yes, absolutely. And with the guy's comment. I understand and I empathize. I was a stepdad. When I got married, I was raising another man kid. You know what I'm saying? I have friends who have baby mama issues, you know, and like I think first we gotta hold ourselves accountable instead of being so quick to point the finger. Because if I have a crazy baby mama, well, I slept with that crazy baby mama. You know what I'm saying? If I have a lazy baby daddy, well, I slept with that lazy baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's self accountability first, so that we can reflect on ourselves and say, hey man, how can I make better decisions? I agree that black men do go through a lot. Like I'm a black man, bro. I agree with that. That's not what I'm talking about right now. It's like when a black man get killed and we walk in protest and we say Black Lives Matter, and here you go. Here come this little all lives matter person. And they're like, all lives matter, blue lives matter. Just, I guess, just to have a voice, just to state the obvious. Duh, black men go through it, nigga. Of course. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a space where we need to have outlets for black men where we get appreciation from our black women. And I think that's something dope that you're gonna offer on your channel. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, y'all gonna get all the love over here because it is needed, and I can't say I want better for the black community and not love on the black man that is supposed to be the leader. And I think that you guys need to and will take your rightful place, and I'm gonna be there with picket signs, cheerleading, pom poms, percolating, all for you to get your rightful place as the leader in the community. Hallelujah.
I love
All
it.
right. Let's pull up another one. I hear you, but dealing with bad boys like Future and having a baby by him is what placed them in the position in the first place. She could have a good guy like Russell Wilson first, but girls want to have fun, right? Think about it. Y'all can also stop having babies with these men who haven't shown these qualities.
There's a scripture that says, you know the tree by the fruit that it bear. Meaning, like, you know a person not by what they say, but by what they do. So there's some truth to what he's saying. You can see the type of results you're gonna get from an individual just through their actions. If you don't say nothing and you just watch their actions, watch, bro, you're gonna see. You're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? But I also think we got to give space for grace, because of some of the things we're missing in the black dynamic of the family. And like with the Future comment, it's like, okay, yeah, he has multiple kids. You kind of know what you're gonna get from that. And I can get the black man saying, hey, you're responsible for that decision. And rightfully so, which is why she probably course corrected with Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she learned from that decision and then course corrected with Russell Wilson. But I will say this. There seems to be a segment of black women that don't want niggas who ain't got swag. They not attracted to dudes who are green. Am I off with this? You tell me.
You
black
you
woman.
said a segment. I'm gonna say most.
Okay.
Most.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't off, because I do know a lot of viable black men who are available, but my God,
charisma,
the black women ain't checking from them.
Swag.
Yeah, that exists for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a problem. Is black women are wanting to be entertained by our men instead of led by our men.
You should tweet that.
Oh Jesus! Come on, work through it, Lord. That's what it is. We want you to entertain us, and leadership takes third, fourth seat. And these are all issues that I'm seeing of why we are here now, and these are all things that we have to fix.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we want them to entertain us. And I'm gonna add a bar to that because I used to be a rapper in my past life.
I mean, we can freestyle.
You know what I'm saying? Because they watching entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Like they watching these people and they like, oh, I want the guy like that. I want Future, or I want a little baby. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
want the baby. Like it's the lifestyle. It's luxurious. It's flashy. You know, I want the Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? I want the 6-figure nigga. Like,
Mhm.
but sweetheart, sweetheart, like what matters to you? What qualities really matter to you? And I'm not saying those dudes because I don't know them personally
Mhm.
to speak about their personal life in regards to how they carry themselves. Um, but what qualities do you value the most?
Yeah. Why do you think we don't look at Nick Cannon as bad as we do Future?
I think Nick Cannon has a cleaner image than
That's what
Future.
it is.
He's more clean cut.
Mhm.
Keep in mind a Nickelodeon guy,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And because he's articulate, he's smart, he went to a HBCU.
Mhm.
He's like the guy you could be like, oh yeah, but it's Nick Cannon though.
Yeah.
And I think Future has a more street hip hop, like typical image of a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Yeah.
think that's why people give Nick Cannon a pass. I don't give Nick Cannon a pass, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I feel
No.
like people give him a pass.
I do too. And I think, in the space we talk about the Pookie and the Ray Rays. I think a lot of that Pookie and the Ray Rays is built on how men look. I
Yeah.
know I posted a picture of a guy, this man, and he had locks, chains a little bit. And I was getting comments, and they were saying, "Oh, of course she'd be with a Pookie. Of course she'd be with a Ray Ray." Not knowing that this man graduated from Vanderbilt, Ivy League, multi-billionaire. He's a millionaire because of the multi-businesses that he has, but he's an
Yeah.
Ivy League graduate from Vanderbilt. He looks street because he's younger and into hip hop culture, but far from a Pookie and Ray Ray. And we do a lot of uh, judging on image, which I can
Absolutely.
agree. I do it too. um just full transparency, how you look is how I am going to sometimes speak to you or to acknowledge you. It's like, oh, okay, I'm speaking to an
Right,
older
right.
woman that holds herself to a high esteem, so you get treated as that. So I know that we do that, but again, we do the Pookie and Ray Rays on how men look, but not their core character. And I would say that Nick Cannon would be a Pookie Ray Ray, just as well as Future, and they both need to get the
Right.
equal amount of smoke, because I even think that Nick Cannon got more babies.
I think so. He's definitely going for a record.
A record. All right, let's pull up another one. Problem is they trusted, nurtured, and supported the wrong men. They spent all those years with who they call now as Mr. Wrong, while we sit back not even being checked. While we sit back not even being checked for because they valued all the wrong things. Now they're approaching 30 or past 30 and trying to understand what's going on. I can literally look around at my friends, the ones that got all the women, never even think about really taking a woman seriously. And the ones that's barely getting attention are the ones that really lock in and be everything for them. It's sad for real.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I say we like for these conversations to be black and white. Yeah, I agree with him. No, I don't agree with him. Because that polarizes the conversation, these exacerbated opinions, and everybody got one. But I think, if I'm looking at this balance, and I'm only speaking from my experience, from what I see, a lot of people, women included, have made poor decisions in their younger ages. Have made poor decisions in their young ages. Now, can I speak for everybody? No, of course I can. I mean, there are women out here who are 30, but they still act like they 18. You know what I'm saying? Which still speaks to a lack
Hello?
of maturity.
40, 50, still acting like they 18. Ma'am, if you don't put some clothes on, you are a senior citizen, ma'am.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's this man. So I know younger women in my life who are having kids super young, and there's this blind loyalty to this family dynamic that's not really a family dynamic. Like a family dynamic is marriage, because that comes with covenant, that comes with true commitment. Some people would say that's even a contract. You can't just get out of a marriage like you can get out of a relationship.
Right.
That's the epitome of commitment. It's marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not having a baby, because niggas can leave you with a baby.
Yes. It's not shacking up either.
It ain't shacking up, because one day I get tired and I can just walk away. You know what I'm saying? But you can't really do that with marriage. But for some reason, man, from what I see in this younger generation specifically, they really glorify doing it backwards. Marriage, no, not marriage.
Baby.
Kids, living together, and then somewhere down the line, way down the line, maybe we'll get married. And then what they find out is 2 years later, oh, you was in love. But then 2 years later, you like, yo, we not together and I'm putting them on child support. And that's what this guy is speaking to. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, okay, you gave this guy that you were with your womb. You gave him your nurturing. And now at 27, you've got older and hopefully you're a little wiser. But at the same time, you know, why is it that you made those poor decisions? And that's why I go back to, okay, environment, teaching, you know what I'm saying? Because I think ultimately our decisions are a reflection of our beliefs and our behaviors.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about something. I'm going to go to another comment. When he said Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong doesn't necessarily mean Mr. Bad. And I think we conflate those two. The wrong man for me doesn't mean that he's a bad man.
Oh my God. But you know they gotta villainize him.
Do you see what I'm saying? He's wrong for me. He showed me all the flags that he wasn't for me, but not necessarily a bad man. I think we put bad on everything. So just because you're not for me or we didn't work out doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It's just the wrong situation. And I was so in love with my heart that I did not see the red flags. I didn't protect my heart. I didn't protect my body. I didn't protect my mind. And I allowed the red flag. I overlooked it. And I think that's a lot of our problems too. So Mr. Wrong doesn't necessarily mean Mr. Bad.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So let's pull up a couple more. I'm a Black woman and I'm not tired of being independent and strong. Not all people are all that, and everyone should be that, but the rest I agree with. So that Black woman said, look, I'm in. Who you talking to? I ain't tired of being independent. I'm a strong Black woman. I'm independent.
I'm like, okay, should I?
Lucy, INDPE. I'm the Lucy.
I don't know how serious I can take it with this laughing emoji, but if I take that at face value, I say, well, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what your relationship is going to look like 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I think the natural order of things is women want a man who lead them. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you are a strong, independent Black woman, most likely you're not going to get a man who's a leader, because your belief systems wouldn't even allow that. It wouldn't allow you for you to get a man who's a leader, because you've led all of your. You can't submit. What? You know what I'm saying? No, that's not gonna happen. And so I feel like that woman, if you really do have that mentality, that's cool, to each his own. But if you want to have a great relationship, I'm not saying that they don't exist with strong, independent women. I just feel like the type of man that a woman typically wants to follow, they're not really looking. That man isn't looking for a strong, independent. I don't need a man woman.
Yeah, I agree. Oh Lord, let me get to. There was one. Okay, let's do this one. Sometime. All right. Based on these comments, I'm wondering if the issue is that men and women get in these relationships with the wants they find in a mate, and then try to find the need later and get frustrated when it isn't there. Or most likely the person displays a mask of the need and then takes off the mask within the relationship, showing their true colors. I am married and I'm tired of women talking about how men aren't up to par, but it's their reality. We have to do better. Well, we got to do better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that gets exhausting, right? Because again, I know men who are single and who are viable options. And so if you are attracting the same man, well go yourself to your restroom and look in your mirror, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And evaluate yourself. Why are you getting with the same men who share the same qualities? And I love that because this dude is married, you know, and I think a lot of times you're infatuated with the person at the beginning, and it's a lot of your wants, but you're not self-aware enough to even know your needs. What do you need?
Yeah.
Most people can't even articulate what they need. Like, what do you need? And then it's like, man, I don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
You know what? Um I think women know what we need. We're not attracted to it offhand. We're not attracted to our needs. We
Okay.
want what we want. And I've said this before. I think we don't deal with an accountability issue. We deal with a maturity issue. And with maturity, it's like, unfortunately, a kid, we want what we want. And you're not going to give me broccoli what I need. I want the Snicker bar. That's what I want.
Got you.
So, and we keep that mentality going in an older age. So it's not for me an accountability issue that Black women have. We have a maturity issue, and we are maturing too damn late.
Yeah, because by the time you get 35, I mean, isn't it scientifically proven that pregnancies become more complicated the older you get? You
Yeah.
know,
So by the age of 35 is geriatric pregnancy. So it
can you explain to me what geriatric pregnancy is? See, now
geriatric
you
pregnancy,
throwing
right?
words out.
You ain't the only one that went to college. Okay. So, at 35, it's harder, it's more risky for us to get pregnant. Our eggs be dried up. When we get towards our mid 40s and 50s, ain't no more period. So it's harder for us to get pregnant, to keep the baby full term, and also health. I mean, I think a lot of women, as far as with Black women, we don't understand that we are at a higher risk of death. So with that age and that propensity that we could die at childbirth, it's even higher. So again, this womb issue, I think, is a big issue, and we need to take it more serious. But yeah, geriatric means you old. Geriatric is old, lady. You old.
Yeah. So what you're
You
saying
carrying
is,
that baby, ma'am. Go sit down somewhere, lady. You old. You old. What that mean?
yeah. So it sounds like what you're saying is, unfortunately, Black women are maturing later on in life, where some of the qualities that men would prioritize when marrying a woman, now it becomes more complicated because you're older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
makes sense.
Man. All right. So you had somebody comment on one of them. And of course it would have to be him since they calling you a simp, right?
Yeah. Who
You know
called
who
me?
I'm talking about?
Nah, I don't know. I
This
don't
is
know who
one.
you're talking about.
This is the king of simps, is what they call him.
Okay.
Boyce Watkins, baby.
Boyce is a simp.
Yes. The king of, let's call him the king of simps. He married an older woman, 3 kids, and all, but he was in love with her for like 20 some years since he was in college, and she ignored him, had 3 babies, and then now all of a sudden she wants to be with him, and now they got married. So he's the king of simps. But
Wow,
yeah,
I
they
didn't
call
know
him.
that.
Look, this is what they call him. Dr. Moist Watkins. That's right. Look, I'm telling you, King Simp. So I said, of course, they calling you Simp, but then you had old Dragon Slayer of the Simps come and comment, but he did. And he said, if you ever learn to trust a man, you'll never find a suitable leader. There will always be something wrong with him.
Yeah, I think he's speaking to the brokenness of some women. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to build trust, trust a lot of times come from experience and rapport. You know what I'm saying? So if you never trust a man, how are you going to find a suitable leader? Because you got to trust your leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So even though he's King Simp and Dr. Morris Watkins, I think there's some validity to his statement. That's hilarious. I did not know that.
I think it's supposed to be Super Saiyan Simp. Yeah, they be giving him a hard
Super Saiyan.
Y'all get off, boys.
He's Super
Saiyan. I want to laugh
Simp.
with him, but
he's Super Saiyan God. He in God mode Simp.
Yeah. So, but that's because of his story, and
okay,
4 stepfathers, and so I mean, it's just a space that we're in. But he did comment on that, and I thought that was kind of cool.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna put, if anyone has or any questions or want to call in, they definitely can. Put the link in the chat, but let me go over something. It just was in the streets of social media. I'm gonna play this now. Being that you're a Christian and I'm a Christian, do you? I'm not gonna assume. Believe in gender roles?
Yes.
Okay. What does gender roles mean to you?
I mean, I just feel like everybody have a role to play. So for me, I follow biblical patterns. You know what I'm saying? I follow biblical disciplines. So the man, the leader, the protector, the one who sacrifices himself for his wife, and then the woman, the nurturer, the helpmeet. You know what I'm saying? And so it's funny because we have roles in every other part of life, but we don't want to have roles in relationships. That don't make any sense to me.
Oh no, we all kind of pronouns and everything. So roles don't look good.
It's weird.
But there was something that went viral. They was calling him the fake Kevin Samuels, and they said that this man got owned. Did you see this?
I did not see it.
All right, so I want your opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Okay.
Why don't the women want to cook and clean for the men anymore?
Because they're tired, bro. They have to go to work every day. That's not hard.
They're tired?
Yeah, they got to go to work every day, just like you.
What are they tired of?
Of working. It's not hard. I mean, that shouldn't even be like, I don't even understand the question. Like, they're tired. Aren't you tired when you get home from work?
They're working every day, so they're tired. That's why I don't want to cook.
Yeah. You think I want to work 8 hours and then come home and then cook and clean? I mean, I do it because I have to. I have 5 children. But yeah, I mean,
do you have a woman right now?
What's that?
Do you have a woman right now?
I've been married for over 20 years.
Okay. Does your wife work?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the roles in a marriage?
What are you talking about, roles? Everybody does what they have to do.
Well, okay. What do you do? What does she do?
For a living?
No, in the house for the marriage. What do you guys do? What are your roles?
Role? I don't understand the question. She does what needs to be done that day if she has time to do it, and if she doesn't, I do it. I do what needs to be done that day, and if I don't have time to do it, she does. But roles, I don't know.
How do you not know what roles are in a marriage? You're married for 20 years. You guys don't have any roles?
Those don't exist. Because those don't exist. Like, I'm not white. I'm not a white Christian.
What?
Man. I don't.
What are you talking about? I'm not white. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, because you're trying to live up to like some white supremacist ideal of the
What are you talking
family.
about?
I don't subscribe.
Nobody said nothing about no supremacy.
Teamwork makes the dream work, friend. We a team. Ain't no roles.
What do you mean there ain't no roles?
It's not that hard to understand. You said, why do women not want to cook and clean? You're tired. You have to go to work.
Okay.
I answered that question.
Okay.
You said, what are your roles? I said, we're a team.
If there's something that needs to be built in the house, who builds it? You or your wife?
Depends on what it is.
What do you mean depends on what it is?
Like if it's a toy for the kids, you know what I'm saying? My wife's better at putting stickers on, so she builds it. But if we're talking about
that's not building nothing, man.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Stickers on something? You've lost it.
It's still a task. But my wife's an interior designer, so she can build anything.
That was hilarious to me. I don't know if he was trolling, but I think that kind of summed up what we were talking about today. Is black women be tired, and you said they tired. He said his wife's tired. They've been working. What you talk about gender roles? So, what was your opinion on that whole interaction?
So I conform to the role in the household. I conform to that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? I do think we play our position, we play our part. And for me, I understand where he's coming from, because at the end of the day, if you have been working 8-12 hours, you're not gonna want to come home and cook all the time. Which is why my woman, my wife, she not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not gonna have a job. She's gonna be able to do whatever it is that she's passionate about. You know what I'm saying? So because I understand the responsibility and the expectations that come with a woman working, like, can I really expect for her to nurture the home in the best way, to the highest capacity, if she's working a full-time job? No. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a little bit, that wouldn't be thoughtful. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, we gotta have roles. Like, if someone break into my house, I'm not sending you downstairs to go handle it. You know what I'm saying? That's my role as a protector. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this guy, he was trolling a little bit, but then he made sense. If he's been married 20 years, okay, cool. I understand both of you guys kind of take things on as they come. You know, for me, in my roles, it's like, no, yeah, leader, you know what I'm saying? Wife, help me. I definitely would love my wife to spend most of her time nurturing our family, nurturing me, you know what I'm saying, and nurturing her passions, you know, and that those are her responsibilities, just like I have responsibilities. I just think when you say roles, it's like, oh God, roles.
Yeah, it's triggering words for some people. Like submissive is trigger words. And then we talk
Right.
about roles, because for some reason people think it being in a box is so not a box, but labels. So if I label you, it's so confining, and I want to be free, but not understanding that there's freedom in roles. I don't have to worry about anything. If I know what I'm supposed to be
Right.
doing, then I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Great.
Right.
And so it's power in these, I'm a woman. So therefore, well, let me be a woman. Why am I always trying to be a man or act like a man? That's not my role. My role, I'm a mother. So I can't be dad. So, we do these roles.
Yeah, you know, that's crazy, because like at your job, you got a
You have a
manager,
role.
then you got the marketing guy, and then you got the CEO, and then you got the COO. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, I don't want roles, it's like, okay, I get it. You don't want
the woke folk. It's the woke
yeah,
folk.
exactly. But the reality is there are roles, and people do play positions in relationships, and that's fine.
Right. I totally agree. So, one thing I be trying to throw out a little game for the guys out there, for these women. There's a thing, and people were calling me a chameleon. And what a chameleon is someone that says something, but maybe acts another completely way, or don't believe what they say. That could be also like pandering or something like that. But what I tell men is that you can tell a woman and what she truly believes for first asking the whys. Why do you believe in being submissive? Do you believe in roles? The whys. And for me, it's because, of my background. Biblically, I understand my purpose. So I've never really had to worry about what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's in the word. I
Yeah.
believe in being submissive because God ordained me to be a submissive, should be a submissive wife. It's as easy as that. So it's always for my men out there. If you want to understand a woman, understand her whys. Why is she doing it? And if she's, well, I think so, I feel like, no, ma'am, that's a red flag. If she don't know what she know, then that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, because I'm like, man, look, like that question that you asked will fluster so many women. Why do you believe in being submissive? Dang.
No one
Well, no,
asked
wait.
that. No, these men are not asking the right questions. And it's,
They asking what you bring to the table.
That's what you bring to the table. And women can't even answer that.
You know what? It's so funny because I feel like the whole what you bring to the table is kind of an ego dick slinging contest. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you bring to the table? What you bring to the table? I bring this. You bring. We already in competition. Like you, right? We not asking the right questions.
No,
you're not asking the right questions. Like, I don't care what you bring to the table. I care about your qualities and your characteristics. You know what I'm saying? That's what matters to me. Your character. You know, and so if a man is asking, hey, what you bring to the table, I get it, but I feel like that question can be framed to be more effective. You know, like, hey, what do you value most? Why do you believe in being submissive? Do you like those questions? Gets to the bottom of what that person actually believes.
Right. And then that's when you can open the floodgates of, is this a mature woman? Does she know exactly what she wants? Does she knows what a good leader looks like? And those are the real core questions. So again, if you're wanting a good woman, they exist. You just got to understand how to ask the right questions, and it don't take that much. So I'm gonna get back to that because I'm gonna give these men some game. You just wait and see.
Let's go. I'm excited. Yeah.
So let me bring up a couple people. I'm gonna do one at a time again. We're gonna try to keep this. We're almost at 2 hours, so I don't want to get for time purposes. So I'm gonna bring up Lamar the kid. Lamar, if you want to come up, you can. You there? Hey, handsome, how are you? Hey, said I'm top gun today, baby.
Somebody give me a gym.
I see you, Lamar.
Yeah, I'm at work, so I'm trying
to.
And they let you work like that?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
Man,
so
put them arms up, my brother.
I work in a warehouse, so.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, so, what you got for us today, Lamar?
So I do got a question for Joshua. So I agree with the statement that you made. It's like I agree with it, but I have a question about it though, because the statement that you made, are you applying it to believers, or are you applying it to non-believers, or both?
That's a good question. I mean, here's what I think, Lamar. Here's what I think. Like, I think that it applies to both because there are principles that can be applied universally. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a believer or not, if you give, it'll come back to you. That's just a principle that works. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay, because the statement to me sounded more biblical, and especially if you're talking about seeking a godly husband, because you mentioned it, I'm paraphrasing, but you mentioned it about seeking a leader, but you said godly leader. And that right there to me then changes the whole conversation, because I'm like, well, a non-believer is not seeking that order. So I don't really see how that would help them, because they're not seeking God. And that would then explain one of the reasons why they're tired, or one of the reasons why they're saying that they want all the godly principles, but yet they're not seeking it. So that's why I was trying to figure out like who was the intended audience for, because to me it just sounded biblical for biblical people. So
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, bro. Like, so I'm a believer, so what's in me just come out of me. You know what I'm saying? And whoever it hit. I think I get what you're saying, because it can be kind of backwards. Like, I don't want the God, but I want the principles. The principles will work, but they don't work as well without the God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think a person who's listening to that, if they're like, hey, what's your advice? I would say seek God first, who's going to do some things with your belief systems. I don't know if you caught some of that when I start talking about belief systems, but like seek God first, and then your belief systems align where you can know how to not like discover or assess a suitable leader.
Okay, yeah, see, that makes sense, because I do know sometimes in this space, that's why I wanted clarity, because I do know sometimes in this space there are a lot of pastors and preachers and content creators that they will take certain stuff, and because they want to reach the whole audience, they will apply it to that audience. And I'm like, no, it doesn't apply to you. There are certain things, like you said, are universal, but then there are certain things that are not universal. that it applies to believers only if you want to. So that was basically kind of like yeah, that's basically the only thing I really, had it. But I do agree with that that statement. Now, this is what I was going to say. So I'm a type of person where I break stuff down, right? So I agree with that statement in the sense of two natures, right? Because both y'all are believers. So I think when you made that statement, you might have intended that way, but this is how I took it: is that the nature of them being tired, wanting to stay at home, raise the children, that is the God-given nature that He gave us before the fall. And I think what's happening, the reason why you're saying the opposite of that is because until you start seeking the kingdom, you're going to fight against that God-given nature. And I think that's what's happening. So you have women and men, but we're talking about women right now that are fighting against that God-given nature. And so instead of playing their roles, like Courtney always say, you was made to be a wife and a mother. What tends to happen is when you're not seeking the kingdom of God and you don't believe, then basically you do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in now. So
yeah, no, like, bro, I completely agree with that. Because it's interesting how we want the blessings, you know what I'm saying, but not necessarily we want it without the sacrifice. And the thing is, like, if we go back to original intention according to my belief systems, then there's no question. We ain't even got to think about it, bro. It's right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think you're right because of what I believe that was the original intention of the God who created us. And now you're fighting against that nature, which is what I would tell a man too. Like, if you just sitting at home and you're not, and your woman is working and providing, and some of y'all, she protected you too. You know what I'm saying? You fighting against your original intended nature. So I definitely get what you're saying when you're saying that, my brother.
And Courtney, you're all right. We do tend to we do see the flags and they're there, but we tend to override them, or because we may not want to be lonely, or I want somebody so bad. You will see those flags. The flags will be there. You will. I know for me, one of the ways I discern, right, is I will partake in conversations, right. And if you say something, you better remember what you said when we have that same conversation, right? Maybe a couple of days later. And so it's those type of flags that I would see. I'd be like, nah, that ain't the one right there. Because you saying one thing here, but then 3-4 days later, we have the same conversation. Now you're saying something else. So, yeah, I totally understand that too. But, I just want to come show my support.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Always good to see you. I'm getting back in the swing of things, baby.
Appreciate you, bro.
It's always good to see you.
Appreciate both of y'all. I'm going to follow your channel too. Check out your content.
Yeah, he's a good one.
All right, thanks for having me on, Courtney.
Bye, Lamar. See you soon. All right, we're going to bring up a couple more people. Topaz.
Yes, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, darling, I can. How are you?
I'm fine. I just found your channel recently, and so I wanted to come up because I wanted to be part of this discussion. Since this is kind of what I do for a living.
Okay. What do you have for us?
Okay, so the topic that you guys started off with was Black women are tired, and I do agree with that, but I feel like the reason they're tired is because the thing that I see in Black women is we don't know when to let something go. Okay, if you're tired because you're dealing with a lot of men that aren't keeping jobs, that aren't treating you respectfully, the answer to that is to not deal with those men. And as a collective, women can decide what the market has for that men should be doing. But the problem is that women don't agree. And you guys mentioned a little bit about women still dealing with men who are not doing anything with themselves. Well, that is because they get pressured into, do you have a man that answers all questions? But you have to be strong enough. Like, strength for me is knowing when to apply something despite other people telling you it's not, it's not good right now, but you have used due diligence and good decision making so that you want this possible end goal. So what that would mean is you walking away from men that aren't treating you with respect, that aren't contributing and protecting and providing for the household, even though people are going to single shame you. Okay, that means you're standing up for your beliefs. And so if women are tired of having to be strong and independent and all of that, the first step for me and my belief is that then you would stop dealing with men that require that. And if it means being single by a dog, die alone, then okay, because it's worth it to, to stand on your belief system.
So, okay, dive into that a little bit more, because I definitely believe that women can have a standard.
Right.
I think the issue becomes when our standards supersedes what we're even able to offer.
Right. So for me, the answer to that is if that's your standard and you have your reasons why, and it's reasonable reasons, then you raise yourself up to be able to require that as a standard. I don't think the answer is, men doing anything at this point. I believe that as women, if you are tired of something, then stop doing it.
Yeah, I think that speaks to like personal accountability. Yeah, of course. And that's great. I think the deeper conversation is, why is a person habitually making the same decisions? Okay, like why doesn't it click, right? Like if it were that easy for them to stop, but they don't stop, then we got a deeper issue. And so this is why I champion like one environment, friends, therapy, God. Like there are a whole bunch of things that shape your decision making. Why you keep going back to that same guy? Is it a matter of self-esteem? Is it like there are so many things that could play into part. I just don't want us to deal with this thing on a surfacey level and just say, hey, stop. Just stop. Well, nigga, yeah. There are people in abusive relationships, and it's like, yes, I want to stop and leave, but
right. Okay,
you know
so the thing is, first you have to get them to understand that stop is an option, Like, so if you have a problem and it's something you're tired of and you have a hard time quitting it, the problem with that is that you don't believe that stopping that is an option. So the first part of that is getting them to believe that to stop dating the same type of men is a possibility. Secondly, getting them to understand what is driving them towards that men. And for a lot of people, we have these parts of our brain that respond to things like an addiction. It's a pleasure. It releases a lot of the pleasure hormones, and it's the pleasure center of the brain that gets activated. So you have people going back to something, and in this case, relationships, and they don't really understand why. So the point is getting them to understand how they got caught up in that cycle. But the first thing is to help them see that to stop is a possible option. Now, the reason why they don't is because there's something in their environment that is reinforcing or requiring them to just have any relationship. It doesn't matter. And a lot of Black people were taught just have some relationship. You can win any argument, no matter what you're doing. It's okay as long as you have a significant other that is going to take up for you. That's why men get mad at what they like to call simps, is because you're feeding into this woman's bad behavior, and she's going to keep doing it as long as she has a man that's willing to clean up the pieces for her and willing to tell her that it's okay what she's doing. So that's then and also for the women too. That's why they get mad at what they like to call pick-me's.
Someone validating their bad behavior.
Right.
Yeah. I hear you. I agree. So, all right. What's up, Mr. I appreciate you for popping up.
Well, thank you for letting me up. I didn't know whether this was an open panel or not, so I just clicked the link and tried. But
I open it up for the people here and there. I care what the people say. And you always learn something, or like I said, to give different viewpoints.
Right. Well, I definitely appreciated my time up here. Thank y'all for listening. And I will definitely be in your chats more often.
Good, and I'll be looking for you.
Okay, I came up because I was typing away in the chat, so I said, well,
I saw you.
I try not to be so verbose and everything, but it just comes out. I have to say it. Okay, so I just, I came up here, I said my piece, but thank y'all so much for listening, and it was nice meeting you, Courtney and Mr. Dillard.
It was nice meeting you too. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. All right, we're gonna take one more, and this is gonna be Mike. Thank you for patiently
Hey,
waiting, Mike. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. From
Good.
wonderful
What you
city
got
of
for
Baltimore.
us? Oh, you be more.
Yep, yep. It's nice that you know that. Um,
I mean, I watched The Wire.
it ain't like that. When I was a kid, a little bit, but nah, not now. It's all
Yeah,
gentrified now.
I got you.
Uh,
Well, that's good. Well, what you got for us?
well, I would like to agree with what he's saying. Um, a lot of women are making that choice. I mean, say for instance, you go into anything where they talk about the subject of getting a guy that's 6+ and all this other stuff. The females in my family are good with picking the right ones. They aren't, all over the place. They aren't doing this, but and we've got like hundreds of them, hundreds of people in my family. They don't do that. We're all close knit, but these other friends around them seem to think that that's okay to just pick this dude and pick that dude that's, I mean, really off the wall, really, really out there. And they do need to make better decisions. And when people get in contact with my family, I don't know what it is, but when they get in contact with my family, they make better decisions. Because that old school way of thought, and especially on mass like my family, helps. It pulls people out of that. So if you've got to build a big connection that looks like what we want. The number of people and what we see in media can't be what the negative stuff we have. It has to be something positive, and we can't just see it on TV. It has to be in the neighborhoods. It has to be in the communities. It has to be between men and women, separately and together. And that's what I'm saying about that. And that also, that bringing to the table thing, as I've said before, and I guess I think guys are using it. Some guys are using it as a way to get at a woman, like, yeah, yeah. But seriously, that's not how it should be. You know, it's kind of like a business way to talk about it. But I want to know: are you interested in having a relationship? Are you into having what type of relationship, or just anything, or just something to walk around and watch movies with? Just let me know. Let me know what you believe. Let me know it just goes down the list. If you just somebody tell you each one of those, what you see for a relationship, how do you want to approach it, and just every little thing, religion, everything down the line, everything would be fine. Everything will be fine. No one's asking too much, and it's not something you have to feel uncomfortable or threatened by. It's just something worth answering and knowing. Once you do, you'll find out that there's not a lot of problems you'll have. If somebody wants to sleep around, hey, that might be what they want, and you might be for it. You can't feel like you're shaming, and you should be shamed. And if that's a problem, guys should start first. I don't mind starting first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that I want uh, a long-term relationship, something serious, and I don't want to play around with it. And 1.5 to 2 years, I want to put a ring on your finger, and I do want to marry you.
Come on now.
That's how you should be speaking.
Yeah.
That's what you should be saying. And I think people play around with it too much. I even made a list of it, and I went line by line what you should be saying, and it's simple. Nobody's, and I'll send it to you so you can see what I'm saying. It
You
it's
made a
so
list
simple.
of what? Of who should be saying what? What was your list?
No, where you should be asking the question and how somebody should answer it. You can say
Hmm.
anything. If you're a guy and you want to say you want to sleep around, what's wrong with that? you at least know what that person wants. Well, he might be doing it. Yeah, but you never know. You might get somebody that might be interested in that. And just
That's true.
and I know the game is to get anybody to get whatever. But if they can't answer that simple question, you know, then what's the point? What's the point in being with somebody? And they start playing the game of we ain't in a relationship, we aren't doing this. You know they're not interested in a long-term relationship if they come to you with that. You'll know quickly that they're just playing
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
I apologize.
yeah, no,
I'm just
you're
ranting.
fine. And I agree. And I'll say this, and I see one more person in the back. Gretchen, I'm gonna pull you up real quickly and then we're gonna probably head out. But to
All right.
your point, you know, that they don't really ask that question no more, but it was a hot topic of what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? And every woman was, I bring my vagina, and I bring you peace, and I could bring you fried chicken.
Well,
But
as far
I
as the
never, y'all got to pay me for my game. Okay.
as
This is game 101, ladies.
as
Okay.
Kevin Samuel said about women, every woman comes with one on every
Everybody got
model.
a vagina, right?
Yeah.
But I have
Standard on
never
every model.
I've never heard a woman ask, "What do you need me to bring?"
Ooh. Ooh.
You know what?
What What do you need?
Ooh.
And
Well, that's
It's never.
intriguing.
And again, it's knowing your position. If I'm a helpmate, baby, what you need me to help you with? What do you need me to bring? And then then it's like I need you to this and this and this, and it's like okay,
but to back that up, if I'm a man that's gonna ask you what do you bring to the table, I'm going to tell you also that this is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what I want. Sometimes people will try to play the game of, you know, I don't want to put myself out there because they'll have an advantage over me. If you're really wanting to be in a relationship and that other person does, you'll know real quick that they're not worth it. That
yeah,
is the situation right there. And
yeah,
that they've they're not worth the time. You know, if they're willing to hurt, misuse, or try to use what you want to be doing, then they weren't worth the time anyway. And they can tell everybody whatever. They're not worth that time for you or anyone. Just
yeah.
keep it moving.
So you're right. So I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you for calling up. I'm gonna get one more person, and then we're gonna wrap it up, baby.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you so
No.
much. I really appreciate you, Mike. All right, one more. Then I'm going to sleep. Okay, I'm old. I'm
All
tired.
right.
My bones are decrepit. All right, Gretchen, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just
What
going to keep it quick. I'm just going ahead and keep it quick. That's
Okay.
all. If you're a single mother, you have a son, would you want your son to date somebody like you? If you're a single
This is a general question.
yeah, I'm just it's
Okay, I
it's
understand.
it's like a personal question to somebody. It's just for those that are dating single fathers or single mothers or dating. It's just something to keep them in mind. If you're a single parent and you have a child, but if it's a son, would you want your son to date a woman like if you're a single father, you have a daughter, would you want your daughter to date somebody like you? If you're a single mother and you had a son, would you want your son to have date a woman like you? That's a self-reflective type of thing.
Yeah.
Also, I want to be
Okay. Well, Gretchen, my darling.
Well,
Well,
well, well.
okay, that's fine. Well, I got the gist, and she's, I get
Yeah.
it, right?
I was gonna give her a little bit of feedback with that because some people would want their daughter or their son to date someone like them, and they're horrible.
They're still trash. They're still trash. Because sometimes the people don't know they trash.
Exactly. My point taken. So you're following.
Look at Gail. I'm not with you today. She said, I'm not doing it, Gail.
Gail at night.
She said, look at God. Yes. So, okay. Well, that was great. So, I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on. You know, this platform is always open for you, more conversations. So, I'm probably going to invite you back up
Oh
to do
yeah,
some
for
more
sure.
just talking so you can simp some more.
I got one question for you before we go.
Okay.
Courtney, what do you bring to the table?
Josh, what do you need me to bring?
I hope the ladies listening, because that response right there is just impeccable.
No one has ever said it. People,
Yeah.
because again, it's what do you bring? Well, I bring this. It's no, I help you,
Uh-huh.
baby. What do you
Yeah.
need me to do?
That's hard. I love it.
I be trying to tell the younger, they don't be listening though.
They need to turn on the Courtney Michelle show.
I better listen to this old lady. But anyways, I'm gonna drop you down. Stay there for a second, and I'm gonna say my sayonara's to my
Okay.
audience. All
Okay,
right.
got you.
Thank you. Oh, hold up. Before I let you go, tell them where they can follow you at. I know Gail has been super awesome. She has put your page on in the chat
Oh,
so people
nice.
can follow you there. But shout out your IG, do what you need to do before I
Yeah, for sure. Please follow me on YouTube, The Joshua Dillard Show. We are currently working on season 3 of The Joshua Dillard Show, and it's going to be crazy. It's the realest Christian talk show in the world. Like, we're going to talk about stuff and discuss stuff that are pretty unconventional and taboo. And we're going to talk to highly influential people about those things. So that's gonna be great. Of course, follow me on Instagram at The Joshua Dillard. Follow me on TikTok at The Joshua Dillard. That's where I release most of my content right now. So you guys tap in with me. I've enjoyed being on your show. I appreciate you, Courtney. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for bringing me up. It's been amazing.
Yes, well, I appreciate you finally. Finally. You was trying to run from my smoke or something. I didn't know you was scared.
No.
I didn't know what it was. But I got you here, and I'm absolutely grateful that you came through. Your IG, I am jealous of. When I tell you, you have the best reels I have ever seen. You are so creative. And if y'all are not following him on IG, just pull up his name, or you can find him in my story. It's amazing. Super
I
dope.
appreciate it.
So, again,
Thank
I'm
you
dropping you
so
down.
much. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Josh. So great conversation. I want to thank you guys for joining me this evening. It was kind of a impromptu thing. It just happened yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, familiar face, I know him, come through," and he graced my channel. So I am super grateful, and I am super grateful for you guys. Again, like I stated at the beginning, this is a new chapter for me, and I can't tell you how excited I am to start to do new stuff, to be more creative, and to have more conversations that make us all think. So thank you for joining me this evening. It's been Trill, and I got a live tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably not gonna be as chill, but we go have the conversation. So again, like, comment, and subscribe to your girl. Also to Joshua Dillard. He has an amazing platform. And as always, you guys, be a blessing. Thank you so much.